It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16, and verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Shalom, shalom, Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Alright, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Alright, I'm the Brother Gabar Ya'Allah coming at you with another lesson. Alright, and today's lesson is going to be based off, the fact that we have given up our lives. Okay, now, the reason this is so important, or the reason it is important to figure out this mind state, is because we're coming into a time where we may have to, be in situations where it may seem like our lives are in danger, okay? And they very well could be in danger, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that part of being in this ministry, part of being in this truth is staying faithful until the end. Okay, this is why Yahushua mentioned this. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, and verse 25. Or I'm going to start at verse 24. It says, Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay, and, denying yourself, pretty much, brothers had aspects of going into, NBA, or brothers had aspects growing up, being a bodybuilder maybe, whatever it is, brothers had aspects or aspired to be these things, okay? But, you let them deny themselves, okay? They denied themselves for this truth's sake and followed Yahushua and are carrying that cross, okay? It's a hard thing to do, to deny a perfectly, simple life, going to work, getting your money, getting this, getting that, not having to worry about anything. That's an easier lifestyle than being in this ministry, okay? Because being in this ministry, you have responsibilities to do, responsibilities to account for. And yeah, you have to have a balance, okay? A lot of brothers have to balance out their families, okay, with their, their children, the woman, with the work and this ministry. Okay, you have to balance all that. Okay, because this ministry does take a big chunk of your life. Okay, it should take up, a big chunk of your life. All right, a lot of your time should be devoted into this ministry. Okay, whether it be studying, whether it be, reading, whether it be praying, whether it be making videos, a lot of your time should go into this ministry. Okay, and it's a hard thing to do that. That's why the scriptures talk about the straight is the gate, okay, because it's a hard path, okay, and straight doesn't mean a straight line, straight as in hard, okay. It says, verse 25, For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. And it's important to understand this part of the ministry, okay, to really understand what you're a part of, because if you don't understand that there could be a time where you may have to, give up the ghost, you're not going to be in the right mind frame to where in that ministry, to where in that time, okay, in that time in Jacob's trouble, if you're not in that mindset and you're, about to die, you're going to be like, wait, let me just take it, let me just take it. Okay, then you're going to take the chip and you're going to get, you're going to get burned. But if you understand that, okay, there may be a chance that I may be saved and your faith is flurrying to the last second, the Heavenly Father could save you out of that, Salakia, the Heavenly Father could save you out of that. All right, that's why it says, whoever shall lose his life for my sake shall find it. Okay, it says, for what is a man profited if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Right, because you have a lot of sellouts as well. These celebrities, these Israelite celebrities are all sellouts. Okay, they because really we're not supposed to be anything in this world. Okay, you're not supposed to be anything. All these Israelites that you see, that are great men, or that are seen to be great men and are seen to be rich. Your LeBron Jameses, your Michael Jordans, your singers, your dancers, the athletes, okay, the actors, Denzel Washington. All these people are sellouts, okay, because we were not meant to be anything in this world, okay. But Esau uses Jake as entertainment because he knows that Jake is way better than any other nation. Okay, that's why all the sports, Jake is always the best one in each sport. Okay, you look at soccer, you got the so-called Argentinians. Okay, they just won the last World Cup. Okay, that's Northern Kingdom. You look at basketball, you got Judah. Okay, that's Southern Kingdom. You look at boxing, you got Jake, you got Issachar, you got Judah. All these all these tribes in these nations. It's like all these tribes in these sports. Okay, but they gave up. They gave themselves up. Okay, they were seeking for their lives, and now they're gonna lose it. Okay. All right, now that's it on that. Now I'm gonna go to bear with me, Baba Kisha. Go to Matthew again, but chapter 10. Matthew 10. And I'm going to start at verse 38. Salakia. It says, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. Right? Because you're going to have to endure some of the same afflictions that Yahushua endured. Obviously to a lesser level. But, Yahushua endured afflictions. We have to endure afflictions. All right, the scriptures speak about servant not being greater than his master. All right, it says, if he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loses his life for my name's sake, it's like for my sake, shall find it. Right, it reiterates it again. Okay, it's telling you, look, look, you may have to lose your life. Okay, you may have to, those dreams that you had. Okay, it's hard to give up those dreams. Okay, those dreams that you had being a rapper, those dreams that you had being this and the third, because all that sounds good when you're in this world. Okay, all of it sounds great when you're in this world because you have a wicked worldly mindset. But now you're changed, and now through the grace and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you don't want those same aspirations. Now your aspirations are beyond that. Your aspirations are to get into a chariot, to be saved, to get up out of here. It says, he that receiveth you receiveth me, and he that receiveth me, it's like, and he that receiveth him that sent me. Right, so, who sent Yahushua? The Heavenly Father. Okay, the Heavenly Father sent Yahushua. So, if you receive this gospel, if you receive this ministry, and you're taking heed, and you're doing the steps that are necessary, okay, if you're doing the steps that are necessary, you're receiving the Rakak Kodash of the Heavenly Father, the only begotten Son, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yahushua being the only begotten Son, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father. Verse 41, it says, he that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. Right? He that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. Right? So, what's a righteous man's reward? What's a prophet's reward? Okay, a prophet's reward is being in them chariots. Okay, and being in them, being saved out of this, and having everything you've ever wanted. And some of us are gonna have to die. Some brothers have already, passed over and gave up the ghost. And now they're with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua right now, enjoying the fruit of their labor. It says, and whosoever shall and whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water, only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. All right. But that's pretty much the point, man. I just wanted to make a real quick basic lesson for the newer brothers, because we're coming into a time where a lot of newer brothers are going to be, a lot of newer brothers are going to be, in this ministry. And I'm still a baby myself. I'm still learning, I'm still growing myself. But, one of the first things that you should know in this ministry is what you're getting yourself into. Okay, really understand, really truly materialize what it is that you're fighting for. So, that's pretty much the lesson. Low willing was edifying, low willing was uplifting. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Shalom.